Easter weekend, April 2015. London's jewelry quarter falls silent as the city empties for the bank holiday. Behind the locked doors of Hatton Garden safe deposit levee, an alarm triggers, and no one comes to investigate. When staff returned to work on Tuesday the 7th of April, they found the vault had been breached. A hole had been drilled clean through 50 centimeters of reinforced concrete. 73 safe deposit boxes had been ransacked. The estimated value of stolen goods was approximately £14 million, though some estimates suggested the true figure could be far higher. What stunned investigators most was not the scale of the crime, it was the age of the suspects. The ringleader was Brian Reeder, 76 years old at the time. A career criminal with deep roots in London's underworld, Reeder had previously been convicted in connection with the notorious 1983 Brinksmat robbery, one of the most infamous heists in British history. Alongside Reeder stood John Kenny Collins, age 75, and Terry Perkins, 67, men who had spent decades navigating the fringes of organized crime. The press would soon dub them the Diamond Weezers and the Bad Grandpas. Daniel Jones, 60, was reportedly the most physically capable member of the group. Carl Wood, 58, and William Billy the Fish. Lincoln, also 60, rounded out the core team. Hugh Doyle, at 48, was the youngest person connected to the plot. Then, there was the mystery figure. A man the gang referred to only as Basil. Always masked, always careful, and allegedly responsible for disabling the alarm system and accessing the vault. His identity would remain unknown for years. These were not young, athletic criminals. Some walked with canes. Some had serious health conditions. The contrast between their ages and the sheer physical demands of what they were planning is what makes this case so extraordinary. Brian Reeder's involvement in the Brinksmat case decades earlier had taught him how high-value heists worked and how they could unravel. He was, by all accounts, a meticulous planner, but even meticulous plans have weaknesses. The plan was executed over the Easter bank holiday weekend, a period when the building would be empty for days. On Thursday the 2nd of April, the gang entered through a communal entrance on street level and made their way down a lift shaft into the basement. To reach the vault, they needed to breach a wall of reinforced concrete half a meter thick. They used a Hilti DD350, a heavy industrial diamond core drill designed to cut through the hardest building materials. The noise would have been deafening. That first night, the gang drilled through the vault wall, but they hit a problem. A large metal cabinet on the other side blocked their entry. They could not move it. After hours of effort, they abandoned the attempt and left the building. An intruder alarm had been triggered during that first visit. The security company received the alert, but police graded the call as requiring no response. A security guard checked the building's external doors, saw nothing amiss, and went home. It was a failure that would be widely criticized. Brian Reeder reportedly wanted to walk away after the first failed attempt, but the rest of the gang refused to quit. On Saturday the 4th of April, they returned, this time bringing a Clark pump ram to force the obstructing cabinet out of the way. This time, they succeeded. The cabinet was displaced, and the gang gained full access to the vault. Over the following hours, they methodically opened 73 safe deposit boxes, emptying their contents into bags and bins. The haul included gold, diamonds, sapphires, and other precious stones, along with cash and personal valuables. Many items held deep sentimental value to their owners: family heirlooms, wedding rings, and irreplaceable keepsakes stored for decades. The gang loaded their haul into a white van parked nearby and drove away into the London night. By the time staff returned to work on Tuesday, the criminals had vanished, along with an estimated £14 million in valuables. The Metropolitan Police's flying squad took charge of the investigation. Their first major break came from the very technology the gang had underestimated: closed-circuit television cameras. Extensive CCTV footage from in and around Hatton Garden captured the gang entering and exiting the building on multiple nights. The footage showed elderly men carrying heavy equipment, a detail that both astonished and focused the investigation. The white Mercedes Vito van was identified from the footage and traced through vehicle hire records. Mobile phone data and automatic number plate recognition cameras allowed detectives to map the movements of each suspect across London and Kent. But the single most devastating piece of evidence came from a covert listening device. Flying squad detectives planted a bug inside Terry Perkins' Citroen Saxo. What they captured would seal the gang's fate. The recordings captured the gang in astonishing detail, openly discussing the heist, the loot, where it was being hidden, and their plans for distributing the proceeds. They spoke with a casual confidence that suggested they believed they had gotten away with it. Investigators also conducted physical surveillance, following gang members as they moved stolen goods between locations. Detectives watched and waited, building an airtight case before making a single arrest. The flying squad had names, faces, addresses, and hours of incriminating audio. After weeks of meticulous preparation, they were ready to move. Operation Spire was about to enter its final phase. On the 19th of May, 2015, coordinated raids were launched across London and Kent. Officers from the flying squad simultaneously struck multiple addresses at dawn, pulling the elderly suspects from their beds. Police recovered stolen items at multiple locations, including the homes of gang members. Some of the most remarkable recoveries came from an unexpected place: items buried beneath a memorial stone in a North London cemetery. Despite these recoveries, a substantial portion of the stolen valuables was never found. Investigators suspected that significant quantities of jewelry and precious stones had already been fenced or hidden in locations the gang refused to disclose. One figure remained at large, the man known as Basil. He had worn a disguise throughout the heist and left almost no forensic trace. While the rest of the gang sat in custody, Basil remained a ghost. Brian Reeder, the 76-year-old ringleader, suffered serious ill health while in custody, including a stroke. His frailty was genuine, but it did not erase the decades of criminal expertise that had made the heist possible. The rest of the gang faced a simple reality: the evidence was overwhelming. Hours of their own recorded conversations, CCTV footage, phone records, and recovered stolen property left little room for denial. In September 2015, John Collins, Daniel Jones, and Terry Perkins pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit burglary. They had heard their own voices on the surveillance recordings and knew the game was over. Carl Wood and William Lincoln denied the charges, but were found guilty after trial at Woolwich Crown Court in March 2016. Hugh Doyle was convicted of concealing and transferring criminal property. John Harbinson was acquitted of all charges. Brian Reeder also pleaded guilty, though he was too ill to attend the initial sentencing in March 2016. He received 6 years and 3 months. Collins, Jones, Perkins, and Lincoln each received 7 years. Carl Wood received 6 years. Hugh Doyle received a suspended sentence of 21 months. In 2018, confiscation hearings ordered the men to pay back a total of approximately £27.5 million, or face additional prison time. The figure exceeded the estimated value of the heist because several gang members were each held liable for the joint benefit. Terry Perkins died in prison in February 2018 at the age of 69. Brian Reeder, the aging mastermind, was eventually released and died in September 2023 at the age of 84. Neither man ever revealed where the missing valuables were hidden. Nearly 3 years after the heist, in March 2018, police arrested Michael Seed, the man they believed to be Basil. He was convicted in March 2019 of conspiracy to burgle and conspiracy to convert criminal property, and sentenced to 10 years. Seed denied being Basil. The Hatton Garden heist became the largest burglary in English legal history. It inspired films, books, and documentaries. The image of pensioners pulling off a multi-million-pound crime captured the public imagination like few cases before it. But behind the headlines and the dark humor, there were real victims. Many of the 73 box holders lost irreplaceable personal items, family heirlooms passed down through generations, wedding rings, and keepsakes that no insurance payout could replace. The case also exposed serious failings in security. The fact that an intruder alarm was triggered and ignored led to widespread criticism of the security industry. It raised uncomfortable questions about how trusted vaults truly protect their clients' most precious possessions. A significant portion of the stolen valuables has never been recovered. It is suspected that much of it was fenced or hidden before police closed in. The missing loot remains one of the enduring mysteries of the case. The Hatton Garden heist proved that age is no barrier to ambition, or to justice. A group of men who thought they could outsmart modern policing were ultimately undone by the very tools of the modern world: cameras, microphones, and data trails they never knew existed. The court ordered the gang to repay approximately £27.5 million. Most of it was never recovered. Somewhere in London, the diamonds may still be waiting. A new case drops every day. Subscribe so you never miss one.